and welcome back to my channel. My name's Mayanthi. I'm a qualified counsellor and I make videos all about how I became a counsellor and what you might want to know if you're looking to become a counsellor as well. So just before we get into the video, as I always say, please click that subscribe button if you're interested in becoming a counsellor or hearing about my career journey and just need some tips on what to study and what the experience is like in becoming a counsellor. And at the end of this video, if you do like it, make sure to hit that thumbs up button as well. As I've said, it does just help motivate me to keep making videos. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing my experience of the placements that I did when studying the Master of Counselling and Psychotherapy. So I studied the Masters of Counselling and Psychotherapy at Adelaide University. I started it in 2012, I think, and finished around 2014. So in that master's degree, we had to do 2 placements and we had to get 200 hours of direct client contact because that was the requirement to then register as a counsellor with PACFA, which is the Psychotherapy and Counselling Federation of Australia. So in each placement, we had to get 100 hours of client contact, and that way after 2 placements we would have 200 hours of client contact altogether. So client contact meant that we actually had to meet with clients, and those were the only hours that would directly count towards our placement hours. So I could be at a placement for 7 hours in the day but maybe only see 2 or 3 clients, and that would mean only 2 to 3 hours would be counted from that day. So we found out very quickly that it could take quite a while to make up those 100 hours. So before I get into the nitty-gritty of hours and things, I'll just let you know what placements I actually did. So my first placement was with a homelessness service, and that placement was allocated to me by the university. So they obviously had different placement venues, which they then allocated to us students. So I was based at this homelessness service. There was another student who was in my cohort who was also based there, and luckily we were friends, so it was nice to have a familiar face around as well. So when we got placed at that placement, they didn't really have a direct one-on-one counselling service, but once we met with the manager of the service, because he recognised us as master's students, he felt that we should be able to start a counselling service within their service ourselves, and that's what we ended up doing. So he basically said, put up a sign, tell reception, tell the rest of the service that we are offering a one-on-one counselling service, specify that it is by Masters of Counselling students, and promote that to their clients. So the client base of that location was people who were homeless, in government housing, at risk of homelessness, and going through potential domestic violence as well. So there was a range of issues that these people were dealing with, and generally one of the issues that come with all of those is mental health conditions. So there was definitely a lot to work with, and we basically made a sign, set up this counselling service, and me and the other student were seeing clients here and there, but we were also still doing the kind of homelessness direct case management type work. So we were both placed in different teams, and we would go out with the staff that already worked there and meet with clients in their homes. Some of them had hoarding issues, some of them just again had mental health conditions. So we would be assisting them with making sure they're connected in with the right services and getting the support that they need. So any client contact that I had, that those hours could count towards the hours I was counting to get my 100 hours on each placement. So my second placement was at Relationships Australia in South Australia, and this placement I actually found on my own. So I had a friend who was already working at Relationships Australia, and she was working within a certain team, but she had gotten to know some of the other teams, and she let me know that there was maybe potential opening within a team that was called Together for Kids, which basically they worked with kids in school and in their homes, and these were kids who were going through domestic violence or homelessness as well. So that kind of placement really interested me as well. So once I found out about this through my friend, I then advised the university, and they then met with this location and the manager there, and we had a joint meeting, and they were happy to take me on as a placement student. They were also happy to take on another student in my cohort as well. So the two of us then started that placement in the second semester. And again, the hours had to start counting once we started meeting with students. So I say students because one of my projects was to go out into a school and assist them with running like an after school program where they would talk about emotions and emotional regulation and basically mental health based stuff. So I would go to this school and work with the academic teaching staff at the school, and we would run this group. We also ran school holiday programs. So during the school holiday breaks, students or kids that were kind of registered with the council community support for homelessness or domestic violence issues, they would be eligible to sign up to this school holiday program. So we would go pick up the kids from their homes, take them to a community location, a community centre type place, and we would have activities ready for them to do. And that also included having lunch together. So we'd go to the shops all together, get all the lunch ingredients, usually kind of DIY wrap sort of things, and the kids would really enjoy doing that themselves as well. So that work I really enjoyed because it was quite hands-on, and I liked working with young people and kids as well. So that was really nice. And the other part we would do is go to schools and work one-on-one with those kids who are registered with the Together for Kids program. So we'd take them out of the class for around an hour and do some play-based activities or art-based activities and kind of talk through whatever they wanted to talk through or what was going on at home, and just providing them with some strategies that might help them as well. So I would say I definitely preferred the second placement, which was working with kids, and it was nice because, you know, through my friend I was able to kind of find that myself. So it opened up another opportunity for the university as well to then bring in more students, because if you're a student looking for placement, or if you're a university looking for placement, it's quite hard to get a lot of placement locations. So it was good for them to be able to add it onto their list as well. And I found that it was nice working within a team where they worked with kids, because you could be really creative, and I love being creative and making activities and things like that. And so after that second placement, I was actually offered a casual position within their team. So that was obviously a paid position. Just to clarify, both of my placements were not paid, so we had to do them unpaid. It was just part of our university degree. But at the end of my second placement, they did offer me a paid position. It was casual and it was very low hours. So I was given a role to attend a support group for kids. So it was actually based around learning circus activities in the community. So there was a community centre sort of in my area where kids would gather, and there would be a circus program where circus performers would come and actually teach kids circus tricks and things. So it was quite interesting. My role was to make sure the kids had some connection, and if there were any kids with like behavioural issues or kind of that social connection, those kinds of issues, I would work with those kids to make sure that they get involved and have someone to kind of support them through that, rather than just like sitting on the side or feeling really uncomfortable within the group. So that was, I think looking back, like a 6-week program. So once a week I would attend this group. I would also prepare the snacks for the group as well. So we'd have to go to the shops and get the snacks and have them ready for the group. We also coordinated an activity to bring everyone together, which was basically making a big piece of artwork where all the kids contributed, and then we had that piece of artwork printed on t-shirts, so all of the kids could wear those t-shirts to the group. So they really enjoyed that as well. And again, that was something I enjoyed doing. And just kind of being in Relationships Australia, when other roles came up that were kind of casual fill-in type roles, they also considered me, and I did do another 2 casual kind of programs where I was put into different teams and I would cover someone who's on leave, or if they just needed more assistance, with people who were in care as children, so in foster care or in institutions, and I would be helping them with either connecting now with their own kids because they didn't have that upbringing or that the average kind of upbringing. They were having issues with their own parenting, so I would work with them and their kids, or I would be helping them to try and locate maybe family members that they wanted to find, or medical records that they hadn't been able to get a hold of because they were basically in institutionalized care for so long. So that was quite an interesting role as well. Especially the finding family part, I felt like a detective a little bit, because we'd have to search on Facebook and just Googling and search the internet to see if we could find any connections. So those were the placements that I did back when I did the Masters in Counselling and Psychotherapy. I know that degree has changed a little bit since I did it, and now I don't think you need to achieve the 200 hours, but it just means once you finish the degree, you may not be able to register as a counsellor because you haven't completed the 200 hours. So what it basically means is once you do graduate, then you need to have a job or have some work where you are getting extra client hours. So then once you complete the 200 hours, you can register with PACFA or the Australian Counselling Association as well. So I hope you found this video helpful. As I said earlier, make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.